Hi, this is Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and today I'm going to show you how I embroider these super cute eyes onto my amigurumi. So let's get started. First, you're going to need some yarn. I like to use cotton to embroider facial details with. These are just some cute little cotton 8/4 minis. They're a fingering weight cotton. But you can use whatever yarn you've got on hand. So mainly you're going to need black and white. Then this will be the toy that I'm going to give eyes for. And I've already gone ahead and put some black yarn onto my embroidery needle. So let's get going. Now for this guy, now you can decide how big or how small you want to make your eyes. So originally this guy did have eyes, and you can sort of see where the holes are. So I started down here, I skipped 2 holes, and then this was the size of the eye. So going into this bottom hole, coming out here, and just doing several stitches back and forth. But for today, I think I want to try and make his eye a little smaller than I had it originally. So I will be just using 3 little holes as my guide. So I will still go in here. I will skip 1 little gap, 1 row, and I will come out on the 3rd little gap here. So basically, I will just be skipping 1 row of these little gaps. So let me start. I think it will be easier if I just show you what I mean. So just poke your yarn through anywhere. I'm going to go into that hole there. And then just leave a little yarn tail, because this is where we're going to finish off and tie a knot in the end. So as I say, instead of doing the larger eye like I did originally, skipping 2 holes, I'm just going to skip 1 of these little holes and put it in the 3rd. Now you can either let his eye slant slightly to the right or slightly to the left. You won't be able to see it anyway, but on the right eye, I normally use the slant slightly to the left, and then for my left eye, I will use the hole slanting slightly to the right. But let's get going. So I'm just going to skip 1 gap, put it into the 3rd. So you're working in a little row of 3 holes. So I'm just going to go into that 3rd. Now all you do is several little stitches back and forth, and just make sure that you pull your yarn nice and tight every time, just so that you don't have all those weird bobbles in his eye afterwards. So let's just do several. How many did I do there now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you will get these little fluffs or these little fuzzies coming out from your stuffing, but just pluck them out as you go, or you can wait till the end to pluck them out. I think I'm going to end with 1 more. So then we would have done 8 stitches, or 8 times, sort of back and forth. Now we're going to, once we do our final little stitch on this eye, we want to come out on the opposite side where we're starting our next eye. So just sort of make sure that you have your eyes on the same line, more or less the same amount of space from the muzzle. So this is where I had his eye originally, so for me it's a little easier to see, but you should be able to fairly easily you know, sort of to see how far your eyes are from the muzzle. So it's not difficult to see, but try and just get it as even as possible. With crochet, it won't always be 100% even, but we do the best that we can. It is handmade and it gives it a little character. All right, so same as with the first one, I'm going to skip one stitch and then go, this is my third little gap. So again, we're just working in a little row of 3 gaps. And then again, I'll just go back and forth 8 times as I did with my first eye. 1, 2, 3. 4. So we're going to do one more, but we're not going to come out here to fasten off yet. And I will explain why. So you go in for your 8th time, back into that little hole, and then just poke the yarn anyway here at the top of the head, because we're just going to let it hang around for a tiny bit while we do the white part of the eye. So just take your needle out. There we go. It's looking nice. I like it. Looks fairly even. So now you can go ahead and thread a piece of white yarn onto your yarn needle. All right, so we've got the white yarn. Now what we do is just, same as we've got this little tail on this side. So just go in this side. Remember to leave a little tail because we'll be fastening off the white once we are done. In that top gap, so that third hole where we've been working into the whole time, just poke your needle with your white yarn through there. And remember to keep a little tail where we will fasten off. All I do is just wrap the yarn like this, just to go around the corner of the eye, and then you put your needle back into the bottom hole where you've been working into. Poke your needle straight through to the opposite eye, through that top hole where we've been working the black. Let me just put this around. All right, so there you can see we've got the first part of the white detail done. Now you can pull it, just gently tug it, just so that it's nice and flush against the black, but that it doesn't disappear underneath the black. Then we do the same with the second eye. So you're just going to wrap it around into your needle at the bottom hole, and then come through yet again on the top hole of the opposite eye, like this. Pull your yarn gently. Just make sure your white is nice and flush. Keep on tugging it lightly, just to make sure it stays in place. All right, now it's time for those little eye shinies. So what I do is I just poke right into the middle of the eye. So you put your needle right into the middle of the eye, like that. Again, coming out the top of the opposite eye. Gently pull, because if you pull too hard, this little white shiny will disappear into the black. But there you have it. That is the white part of this eye done. We do the same with this one. So into the middle of the eye, just put your needle in. And now we're going to get our needle right there where we started off. Gently pull it. And there you have the second shining little part of the eye done. Now you can go ahead and fasten off your white yarn. What I do is I just cut this, I make 2 little knots. Cut the yarn very close to that knot. And then you just poke the knot right back into the head to hide it. There we go. All right, now you can leave it just like this. It looks absolutely adorable. But what I like to do is just put a little eyebrow, a little eyelash detail and a little eyebrow. And this I use by going back to this piece of thread that we've left hanging. So I'll just thread this again. Now just go back through that loop. And once again, we're going into that top hole, the one where all of the action has been happening. So you just poke it straight through that top hole. And then for this little eyelash part, all I do is I go 1 row down. So we're working into this row currently. So 1 row down and sort of 1 stitch to the side. And then we're going to come back out right at the top of the other eye. Exactly that 3rd hole where we've been working. If you pull this one nice and tight, there you can see our eyelash has formed. Now isn't that adorable? Do the same with this one. So this is the row where we've been working. So we go 1 row down, sort of 1 stitch across, just there. This one will be a little too far, so I'm going to do it in this one. And then you come up sort of anywhere where you want to place your eyebrows. There's no hard and fast rule for eyebrows. There we go. Now just look at that. Just a small little extra detail. My little eyebrows, I just make, I think you can measure it a bit and see where you would like to put them. As I say, no fixed rule on eyebrows. And then to end off, we find that gap where we started with, pull our needle through, there we have his little eyebrows. Let's make a little knot, same as I did with the white. Cut it off there close to your knot, and you poke your knot right into the head to hide it. And there you have it, friends. Super adorable, super quick and easy eyes for your amigurumi.